Aloha, Dr. Heather Tucker here, and welcome to another episode of Taste and See Thursdays. So happy that you're here because we're talking about my favorite subject, which is why I do what I do, and that is the power of coaching. I want to be able to bring the awareness of what coaching can do, how it can transform you and your family and your loved ones and your business and your community. And a lot of people have heard about coaching, but maybe there might be a difference or a confusion of what coaching is and why it's something to be able to consider, right? I also talk about what the difference is between coaching and therapy, just so you get a great taste and see. And for any of you who are coaches out there who want to bring more awareness to the power of coaching and the transformation that it can provide, sharing your unique style of coaching, make sure you check out the link in the comments below to be able to look at the Power of Coaching book collaboration and virtual summit. My passion and my calling is to really be able to be a voice, a voice for coaching, because the benefits of coaching are priceless. The ability to break through any challenges, any things that have happened in the past, present, and future, there lies the ability of what awesome coaches can do. So take a look at that link below. And for those of you who may have heard about becoming a coach or maybe interested in becoming a life coach, take also a look at the link that I'm going to put in the comment below for the Life Harmony Coach Emotional Intelligence Certification training that I'm running in a couple of months. There is such a great power to becoming a coach. So, for example, how do you know? Maybe people have asked or said, maybe you should think about becoming a coach, or maybe people come to you all the time for advice and support as like a encouragement, right? And coaching can lead to so many more things: speaking, teaching, being an author, writing a book, doing a podcast. There's so much unlimitedness when it comes to coaching. Okay, so let me get into today's message. I want to talk about why coaching, especially why now, right? So what we're seeing in the world is almost like people are like, the world's a right. It is. We have an increase in so many things happening: increase in suicide rate, increase in murder rate, increase in divorce, increase in like changing careers. Like this whole thing is happening, and coaching is a beautiful solution to that. So if there is a place of a difference, a gap between where you are and where you want to go, there is always room for coaching, right? So that's exactly what coaching is. Coaching is about helping people bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to be. Therapy is helping people bridge the gap and heal from maybe past significant emotional events that are impacting the present. The best coaches have the ability to help people with the past, present, and future, being aware of what has happened in the past, to heal it, process it, release it from the present as well. So therefore, the vision of the future is expanded, right? A lot of times we have as humans a high toleration of trauma, a high toleration of not being good enough, a high toleration of seeing these challenges, and you have more control than you think over your life. You have the ability to own your life at 100%. Right. And a lot of times we're blown away by the things that happen when we're called to be like the lighthouse, to be like the lighthouse leader that we are, that one authentic person. This is why I love business and life harmony, because it really is about creating peace on all sides. So therefore you can be that one person and also hold the space for even other people in your world who may not have any idea about changes and shifts that need to happen, right? Bringing oneness as compared to separation. So I told you about the differences between coaching and therapy. I want to let you know that there are so many different types of coaches. So I can guarantee you, if there's a niche down challenge that you have, there's most likely a coach that can be able to support it. Coaching can cover relationships, family dynamics, business or career, health and fitness, personal growth. Like there can be so spiritual coaches. There's all different types of coaches out there at all different price points. And one of the things that I want to let you know, especially for those of you who are coaches, There's no coach with the same knowledge, skills, experience, and background and uniqueness as you are. So it's so essential to be able to be a coach owning your uniqueness or finding a coach that owns their uniqueness, right? Why coaching as well? I'll tell you a little bit about it from my perspective. So I did traditionally the thing to do, right? I went to school, got educated, got my PhD at 27, got my dream job by 28. And what I realized was, so I specialized in human computer interaction. And what I realized was such a great need for understanding and strengthening human interaction. It was for me, it was a pattern of losses. It was a pattern of losses that if there was something that happened and I lost a loved one or even someone in the community was lost, it created this like roller coaster down. I don't know if that makes sense. You know, it could be where you're so focused and you're doing your thing, you're on your career, all of a sudden you hear Uncle so and so died, Grandpa so and so died, right? And what I learned is that, that can create how we respond to even death and losses for me was so just I don't even really know. I can't even really explain it now, but I know back then it would create an emotional roller coaster. What coaching did, right? It helped me understand the processes of grief, understanding and getting peace with losses and peace with the things that are no longer here, right? And then being able to turn that grief into gratitude. That's just one piece of the business life harmony, that puzzle that we solve. Because in order to understand where you're going and where you are, it is so essential and so crucial to understand where you've been. And a lot of times, what we do is something happens and we move forward, but we move forward with unresolved challenges, unresolved things. And then another pattern of the similar thing happens and it takes us down all over again. So I got sick of being on that roller coaster. I'm like, I'm going to take charge of my life. I'm going to figure out how in the world to do that, how to have peace where I'm at and at enjoyment and of where I'm going. And I know if it's possible for me, it's possible for anyone. See, the reason why coaching now is because there's so many people that think that this is the best that it gets. There is no other options. It's either this or that. With coaching, it helps you explore the options and the solutions that, especially when it's done the right way, that align with you, right? It's not even advice giving. It's really helping people tap into their own answers. There's a great wisdom in coaching. Okay. So let's see. What else? What else? What else? Another thing is that a lot of times, because we have this high toleration, we will let these challenges get bigger and bigger and bigger until they explode. And what's so beautiful when we take charge of our life, whatever that challenge is, we face it. We face it and we arise. And that allows us to feel everything and relax. And eventually the challenges just dissipate. It creates more harmony, it creates more oneness. This is why I like to talk about the mind and communication, because a lot of times what we're seeing is this miscommunication. What one person says or what you say may be interpreted totally different in how another person receives it, right? So I definitely know that there's a big need and a big call for coaching right now, especially because everything that we're seeing, it's never going to be like the 80s or the 90s. We're at a whole new level. And what also had brought this to home to me today, so the day after Valentine's Day, I was driving to the water. So it allows you, another thing about coaching, it allows you to share your story, right? What do you do if some of those stories are too difficult to share? Well, you heal them, you make them light, and you share them from this place of empowerment. So right now, I want to share with you an amazing story that happened to me on my journey, right? Okay. So I was driving along to the water, right? I was driving to the water. Okay, cool. Let's go get recharged before we get started to work today. And I found my body turning off to another road, right? It was consciously, my mind was still headed for the water, but my body turned the wheel to another road. And as I'm driving down this road, I started crying. I started crying, and I was crying with this crazy gratitude because I had got the inclination. I went to go visit my grandfather's grave. My grandfather's grave, I ended up going to see him, and I put I had a Valentine's Day balloon in my car, so I put that around his grave, or his the thing, you know what I'm talking about, the thing that says the name. So I put that, or his headstone, right? I put it around his headstone. And I was recognizing, wow, how so grateful I was for him and his journey. And I want to tell you about him. Okay. So my grandfather, he was murdered when I was 5 years old. I was literally right around the corner. He was shot in the head and the heart. And when he died, he was the most successful Black man who was an entrepreneur on the shore. He was the first entrepreneur at the time that I ever connected with. And I spent a lot of time with my grandparents because I literally was right around the corner at the school. So what happened was, it was no grieving process. We just kind of moved on. He had this amazing business. Unfortunately, the business did not survive, and it closed. It died when he died, right? But it also created this stain on the whole family. It created for me, oh my gosh, if I shine or if I show up, then I'm gonna get killed, or someone I'm love is gonna get killed. Like, it's not safe to be me, right? It was all of these things that when I stepped into entrepreneurship was like, holy smokes, I cannot even face this because of something that happened when I was 5 years old. And it's crazy how a lot of times we think that stuff from the past does not impact how we are today. It actually has everything to do with how we are today. So, in order for me to be successful, I had to be able to go back and heal and process that and really turn grief into gratitude, right? It's possible to do that. So therefore, I could be able to see all the joy and abundance. Now, one of the reasons why I specialize in business and life harmony, because my grandfather, he was a little bit of an angry man. He was not so nice. He loved his grandchildren, but his intimate relationships, like with my grandparents and my and his children, this is why he worked 7 days a week. And it wasn't until the latter part of his life, within the last couple of years of his death, that he started being present. He started really being able to see the value of family. And what I learned is that I wish that he would have been able to see that sooner. I wish he would have been able to have those pieces on our side so he could be able to have this full passion in his business as well as in his marriage and with his family. And so here's what's interesting. This is why coaching, because the patterns of like, when we see the patterns of the past, they will repeat. What we allow will continue, right? So I see how the patterns and the similarities trickle down. And what I knew, for me having 3 kids, amazing husband, I wanted to change the pattern of that. So therefore, the kids are able to shine in their full light. I'm able to shine in my full light. My husband's able to shine in his full light. It is so essential now, because tomorrow is not promised for anyone. This is why a lot of times we'll say, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Well, here's the thing. A lot of times we wait and see, and how many times our lives literally being lost as a result of us not showing up in our full light. What gets in the way, and what's the most common, is fear. Fear of the unknown, or am I going to be able to do this, or who's going to listen to me? Am I ever going to? We want to be able to eradicate all of that. So therefore, you know that you're great enough. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are worth far more than rubies in itself. Like, you have such a huge calling. It doesn't matter who you are, where you've been, what you've done. There is always room for coaching. And all of our lessons from life and anything that we experience, it's not just necessarily for you, but it's also for those that you're called to serve. There lies the beauty and the power of coaching. And it's just so much better than that. Coaching leads to speaking, it leads to being an author, writing a book, doing podcasts, like, doing events and workshops and being on stages and sharing your uniqueness just from who you are, right? It's like who you are and who you think you are and who other people think you are. It's all the same person. It's awesome. It's awesome and it's possible. So if you are resonated with this message, go ahead and put your comments in the chat below. And sharing is caring. So make sure you give someone else the gift of the power of coaching. And if you're a coach and you want to be able to share your message, your unique coaching style in the power of coaching collaboration and let people bring awareness to the power of coaching, join me on that journey. And if you like this and you're like, man, I want to become a coach or level up as a coach, definitely check out the link for the Life Harmony Coaching Certification Emotional Intelligence training that I'm doing in a couple of months. That literally is the game changer. The two secrets to being a coach. A lot of times we think we have to have it all together. You only got to be a couple of steps ahead. What have you learned on a journey, or what's something that called to you? Like, usually it could be something that's happening in the family or something that's happening in your community that you're feeling this call to be able to do something about it. Coaching is a great way to be able to do that. So go ahead and click on those links below. Sharing is caring. I look forward to seeing you again for another episode of Taste and See Thursdays. And the last message I want to share with you is that you do not have to have a great past to have a great future. You can recreate and restore yourself each and every day. And there lies one of the best powers of coaching, because I'm here to be able to show you how. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.